Hey, what's up everybody? Sanasi here, back with Shun for another replay cast. Up in the top right hand corner, here the purple Terran, we've got Ssak, and in the top left, a fan favorite, it is Zelot. Zelot, that crazy cheese player. Tell us about some of the cheeses that Zelot's brought out, Shun.
I mean, where do I start? There's probably about 50 that he can do at a very exceptionally highly executed level. This guy used to get paid a lot of money, a lot more than his teammates, to do this kind of stuff. There's pretty much anything in the cheese wheelhouse of Zerg he can do. So anything from Ling Floods to Lurker all-ins to a Lurker contain into a full bust with Muta Switch, fast Defiler Rush. I mean, everything under the sun. A 3 centimeter Lurker drop into the main. He'll find the right pool to get the job done. And interestingly enough, we see Zelot sending his Overlord in a little bit of a peculiar fashion across to the natural of the opposite side of the map. Usually he would send that Overlord in a more counter-clockwise position to get a little bit of a safer Overlord, but there is a lot of advantage to doing it how Zelot's doing it here. For starters, it's harder to scout the Overlord at these side base locations with an SCV to confirm the Zerg's location earlier on in the game, and it also allows you to send your second Overlord much more safely down to the natural expansion in this bottom left as well. So kind of getting like a double Overlord scout by doing it in this kind of strange way here from Zelot.
Yeah, that's interesting. I haven't really seen that. We are on Vermeer here, so something to note. Maybe sending the first Overlord in this direction against Terran going to be beneficial. Yeah, it looks like the Marine cannot get out in time, and the Overlord will make it over to this this cliff. Maybe take a little bit of damage here, but shouldn't be killed, and that does net him a pretty good advantage. He saw that SCV moving to the middle of the map as well, and he sees this factory going up here. Ooh, this is only halfway done, and Ssak, he may end up losing this SCV. This is really bad for him.
Yeah, there is a Marine actually coming on the way from the right to try and save this SCV, but Zelot got a few too many hits on it already. But Zelot always gonna dance away the SCV. It's only on 15 HP, but that is 3 shots, so he actually might be able to protect it. Zelot actually wasn't really on top of his drone micro at the start, then missed out some opportunity to get some early damage on that SCV, and for that reason, it looks like he's actually not going to be able to deny this proxy factory going up.
So the proxy factory will finish, but it's been completely revealed, and the sunken colony here is thrown down very early. With that proxied factory, you really need to throw down the sunken like 3 minutes the moment that the creep is far enough out. Can't be waiting till that 3 minute 30-second mark, otherwise you'll just get the vulture rammed right into your base. And follow up here, just floating the factory back, not even gonna make a vulture here, Ssak, after it's been revealed. Gonna go straight into Wraith play.
Yeah, I really like this response actually from Ssak. Although I would have liked to have seen him make a single vulture, but then use the vulture maybe defensively in case there was some kind of 2-hatch Hydra or something. Just have a little bit of extra DPS on the ramp. But instead, he's going to make that cut, get a little bit of extra minerals, and go straight into these early 2-port raids. It's a very interesting play from Ssak, and he has forced a pretty sizable response out of Zelot, having to get that early sunken and be a little bit more defensive with his Ling. So it could work out for him.
Yeah, I like that adjustment there. He knows that Zelot's going to make that sunken, and, you know, just saving on the minerals. Making no vulture gear. He's going to float back up into the main. Could end up making a tank up here as well if there was indeed a Hydra all-in. Just land this up on the high ground. If you have this out in the middle of the map and a Hydra bus comes, you're kind of screwed because you just can never get that tank in time.
Look at Zelot here. He's circling around the cliff area in his main base, not letting any factory float in here. He's well aware of all the possibilities of a cheese and weird play that can come out of Terran. He's a cheese specialist himself, so he's also very good at countering the cheeses of players that can throw his way.
Yeah, good scouting here by Zelot. And I don't think he has any idea that this Wraith attack is going to come in, though. I'm going to be shocked here. Has the Spire on the way, but he's going to lose quite a few drones.
Yeah, he has got the Spire just now finishing up, so he will make a couple of pairs of Scourge, but the issue is he's going to lose about 3 to 4 drones at the very least. Now trying to evacuate the drones to the main base is Zelot, but still losing more drones, and now the Overlord being focused fired down. I think these Scourge will definitely not be out in time for him to get another drone and then get out, so it's going to be a little bit of a loss here for Zelot. I think a good win here, Ssak.
All right, quick pause there. We're having some technical difficulties. Thankfully, we will be updating the computer here soon. Getting a new rig. It's in the mail. But I just noticed that it is indeed polypoid. And Shin pointed out to me that this is polypoid, not Vermeer. And he's looking for the Overlord right now. Some Scourge have popped out. The Wraiths are going to have to retreat here. And if one of these goes down, it could be a really big deal for Ssak. So he just brings forward a few Marines, manages to push those Wraiths away, and will find this Overlord. The one we talked about earlier that was hiding over top of this cliff face here does get picked off. Uh-oh. This Marines here are not in range to actually help this out, and he's going to lose one Wraith.
Ooh, that's actually a pretty big deal. Like, losing any Wraiths right now is a little bit painful. Pretty good micro from Ssak. Not going to be losing an additional Wraith, but those Marines could have done a little bit of better job to zone out those Scourge and protect those Wraiths. A little bit unfortunate that he did lose one. He is very heavily committing into this, getting Cloak, doubling down on his Wraiths, building 2 at a time. Meanwhile, Zelot going to be also getting his Overlord speed to make sure he can navigate around with those Overlords to help kill those Wraiths. Going to be losing another Overlord though and supply blocking him. That one doesn't hurt too much because Zelot's doing a good job of building these Overlords preemptively, so he's only supply blocked for a few seconds. Is trying to now get on the tail end of those Wraiths, but will be turned around if he does force a Cloak. So sometimes what you can do is kind of bait out a Cloak from the Wraiths if you get on top of them and then try and get away, but it's really risky to do that because if you stay in the range of the Wraiths, you can lose all of your mutants that way.
I'm not 100% sure. Do we actually have Cloak right now? Because I see that we have the control tower, but...
Yeah, he researched it.
He researched it? Okay. I'll take your word for it. These few Wraiths flying around the map, 6 Wraiths is enough to one-shot a drone, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know how many hits it takes to kill a Muta, but like you said, if he gets caught in the middle of the map, if Zelot gets caught in the middle of the map, these Wraiths can Cloak. There it is. And just go to work on the Mutalisk. Oh, nice connection there with one of those Scourge, but both the Overlords get sniped very, very quickly. And now he's going to start to lose some drones here. Well, 3 or 4 drones going down. Mutas are getting some hits onto these Wraiths, but the damage here to the economy is pretty profound. And now Zelot going to move across the map here with a whole bunch of Overlords. 4 Overlords in tow with this massive Mutaforce. Can he get some counter damage going?
Yeah, there's currently slightly more Mutas than there are Wraiths, and 3 of the Wraiths are dangerously low on HP, so Ssak has to be a little bit careful. He's got some great zoning turrets covering the little production area where the spider posts meet the ramp, and another 2 turrets covering starports, but not really much defense on his mineral line. So if he does start to lose his Wraiths, there's no way he'll be able to keep the Mutas out from killing his SCVs, so he has to be really careful in maintaining his Wraith count here.
Yeah, he's really focused on keeping his production alive right now, and I like it. I mean, he's not spending any money trying to keep those SCVs alive in his main base, but looks like Zelot able to come in and shut down this natural expansion at least, and the Wraiths are just heading straight across the map.
Yeah, there's like nothing here as well. Like there's a 1 Overlord in the main base that can be easily sniped. He's going to kill quite a few of these drones. Zelot in a little bit of trouble now, starting to fall apart a little bit. His economy absolutely in tatters right now, going down to at least 15 drones. Make that 14. The Mutas do get on top of these Wraiths though. They are able to Cloak. There is these 2 Overlords coming from the western flank to try and give some sight range, but wisely Ssak going to be pulling out and retreating. There is another Overlord here that can spot the Wraiths on the way back, but the Mutas are not close enough to close the distance. So unfortunately for Zelot here, he's going to be taking a lot of damage, but he needs to somehow box in these Wraiths and catch them.
He's coming back around again. As soon as he killed that Overlord, he just turns all his forces around. He knows that Zelot wants to put the pressure back onto him, so he immediately just loops around. He's going to come back in, kill a bunch more drones here. Zelot on the other side, starting to kill some turrets, but the turrets are coming up en masse now. We got 3 more turrets in production here in the main, and the Wraiths are just destroying everything here. They're in the main base now, killing every single drone.
Yeah, Zelot is taking far more damage than Ssak at a much increased rate. So unfortunately for Zelot, this does favor Ssak. He has these turrets as well to retreat and keep his SCV safe. So yeah, unfortunately, I think this is going to be lights out for Zelot. I don't see how he's going to recover because Ssak can just target down the spire, and with only 5 drones remaining, there's not really any way of recovering here. One thing that could be said is that with really good micro, maybe Zelot can somehow deny mining from Ssak for long enough to somehow beat the Wraiths in a straight up fight, but it's going to be really challenging for him to pull that off.
Yeah, it's going to be very challenging indeed. And I wish that Zealot would have made like a single spore. One spore here might actually kill every single Wraith. This is a lot of Wraiths, but a spore has a ton of HP and a ton of DPS. He's once again denying the mining here from Ssak, but all the buildings are just lifting up and flying away. Look at this. We got 2 command centers, a science facility, and an engineering bay floating here over top of a bunch of turrets and SCVs. He's floating all his buildings. All the buildings are in the air now.
It's 13 Wraiths against 11 Mutas, it seems. There is actually a couple more Mutas, 3 more Mutas down outside the natural as well. So it's actually slightly more Mutas than Wraiths. So with superior micro, actually Zelot can win this game, believe it or not. The only problem is that Wraiths do have a slightly increased range. The micro of the Mutas will typically be better than the Wraiths because the Zerg players have way more experience in doing that. However, this is still Ssak, so he's a fairly strong player. He can handle micro in his Wraiths at least a little bit. So he just trades fairly cost efficiently with these Mutas. It's going to be really hard for Zelot to shut down the mining, but it is possible for Zelot to win this game from here.
Is Zelot starting to fall apart here? He's actually got 3 drones just sitting over at the center left. And he doesn't bring all his Mutas up or this Scourge in to try and fight. The SCVs are back to mining now. He's going to start making more Wraiths here shortly. Taking some shots on these Mutas. This is all important here. The fight back and forth between these Wraiths and Mutas. He's got to keep the Overlords alive. He's got to keep dealing damage. Every damage he does deal, though, to these Wraiths is probably going to be permanent here because he can't really afford to repair at the moment. Adding on some more turrets. He cannot allow these to go up. He's going to take this fight. He brings all of the Mutas together, and the Scourge can just barely take this fight. Oh, the Wraiths are starting to win here.
GG. Wow.
Zealot taps out, and 6 or 8 Wraiths do remain. He's just going to stay in for a moment here just to kill every single Overlord. The Cheeser has become the cheese. Look at that.
He's killing his own Wraiths.
Killing his own SCVs. Getting a little extra practice in there. Ssak steals his ladder points and takes the victory there. Very nicely done. A pro player, a seasoned pro versus a cheesy ladder player. I mean, that was a fun game. That was a crazy game.
Yeah, really exemplary outmaneuvering with those Wraiths, really exploiting their mobility and showing that if you can outthink a Zerg and think a lot more aggressively as a Terran, and you can also make those adjustments to your builds. For example, the proxy factory getting scoured doesn't really matter. You can always transition into the next plan of action.
Yeah, really showing that sometimes the best way to deal with a really cheesy player is to put some pressure on them. If they're able to just do whatever they want and get into their game plan, they can be very hard to stop. But there's someone like Ssak who can pull out something like a 2-port Wraith and play the game on your terms, and maybe you can take that game off them. Alright guys, that's all I've got for you today. Thank you so much for joining me for this cast. It was a quick one. We'll be back tomorrow with another replay cast. So, see you then.